Hello, my name is James Garvin, creator of Skullforge The Hunt, a single-player action RPG for PC, Mac, and Wii U. Thanks for checking out our Kickstarter video, and I bet you're wondering what Skullforge is all about and why it matters. Imagine what kind of game you'd have if you took an action RPG like the Enix classic Soul Blazer or the timeless Squaresoft game Secret of Mana, and combined them with the survival aspects and vast world of an 80s game named Alternate Reality. This is Skullforge at its core. Perhaps you've been around long enough to recognize Secret of Mana or Soul Blazer. Both are from the golden years of Super NES RPGs. Some of you may know the cult classic Alternate Reality. It's an RPG published by an 8-bit computer publisher named Datasoft. Developed by a team led by Philip Price, the game begins as you are captured by aliens on Earth and transported to an unknown world. You're penniless, lack any real gear, and your goal is to survive long enough to make a name for yourself, all while trying to find your way back home. In the game, you are required to eat, drink, sleep, and fight to gain experience to level up. The system allows players to choose how they interacted with the world. Would you be good or evil? Help the poor? Kill indiscriminately? Unfortunately, only 2 of the 6 planned games were released. It was a game well ahead of its time, and I feel it would be great to expand on what that game was trying to accomplish in my own way. Last year, I was feeling starved for single-player RPGs. I had played Mass Effect 3 and Kingdoms of Amalur, and while both games were good, I was craving a nice, long, action-oriented, story-driven RPG with a good conversation system and a cool way to interact with the world. After some searching, it was then I realized that there wasn't one and wouldn't be one anytime soon. So I decided the world would be a much better place if a game like that existed. What does this mean for Skullforge? I'd like to take a few moments of your time to go into what makes the game unique. The Skullforge series revolves around an ex-elven slave named Desi Cornerstone. Desi has been scouring the world looking for the men who enslaved her, and her quest has led her to the Isle of Serova, where she learns one of them has been in hiding. The conversation itself is robust. It has expansive dialogue trees. New options are added as branches open up, so the more you learn, the more options are available. NPCs can also initiate conversation, so if you're sitting there, one can walk over and start talking to you while you're having a beer. How you interact with the NPCs changes how they interact with you. Be nice and they're nice. If you don't want to be nice, then expect to get that in return. The conversation system has a lot of flexibility. The island of Serova is pretty large and broken into 12 zones. Exploring consists of doing bounty quests, which you get from guilds, searching for rare monsters, looking for hidden treasures, taking in the sights, locating dungeons, which you can find bonus dungeons wandering around, and looking for crafting plans and materials that are also scattered throughout. There's a lot to do out there, so we hope that players will take some time and actually wander around out there and see what you find. Quests are a large part of the game. How you handle a quest is one of the key aspects of Skullforge. Most quests have multiple completion states, which means that there are multiple branches to each quest. You can search the world for clues, and some quests are only available under the right conditions. We think this will add a lot of depth to each quest. What RPG would be complete without merchants? In Skullforge, you can buy and sell gear at the smithy. You can stay at inns, and remember, quality matters. Also, going to taverns is an important aspect of the game. And you can have blacksmiths craft gear. Take those mats that you find in the world and put them to good use. Dungeons are always an important part of any RPG, and this is no different in Skullforge. Keep in mind that Skullforge is not a dungeon crawler, and not a loot game even though there is loot. Dungeons will have multiple parts and multiple sections, and quests can also start in dungeons. So sharpen your sword and prepare to venture into the unknown. Cities will be places you spend a lot of time in. There are 2 major cities and various villages and towns spread around the island. There's a lot to do in cities. Work for guilds, shop for supplies, or help the local watch clean up the town. The choice is yours. Skullforge uses a real-time action combat system much like Darksiders or Kingdoms of Amalur. You can block and dodge, and there are spells and skills which you can choose from a talent tree system. I feel like players will really be able to sink their teeth into it. Finally, much like in alternate reality, players will need to eat and drink, which can be done at taverns, and sleep, which can be done at inns. Sleeping recovers fatigue, and better beds means better recovery. Also, saving is allowed in rooms, campsites, and before boss fights. Remember, it's a dangerous world out there. Save, and save often. This is a shortened version of what you can expect from Skullforge. Our goal is to make an RPG that is interesting and fun, and as the campaign progresses, we'll be making videos and podcasts showing off more of the game and talking about different systems in more detail. We are a small studio with a passion for making games. It has been my dream since I was in junior high school all those years ago. Upon being funded, we will be able to improve the look of the game, add custom music, and to improve the overall scope. So if you like what you saw, join us in making this happen. We can't do it without you.